Hey, 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 it's Rudrani. I am just admitting you guys into this free call. I'm so excited that you're joining me. Oh, you can't even see me. Hold on. Well, that helps. Hey, how y'all doing?
Hello.
There she is, my cohort.
How are
Elaine,
you?
how are you doing, darling?
Good, and you?
Oh, you look so beautiful. I've missed you.
Me too. I miss you too.
We
Hello, everybody.
Hi. Look, everybody is just white letters in black squares. They're all scared. We've scared them. They're not going to come out and be with us. Well, I will not take it personally. Just saying. I am just waiting to see if anybody else wants to jump on. I just want to acknowledge you guys for taking a Friday evening to be here with us, because this was like a last minute thing. We discussed it, and then this morning we're like, is now the time?
That's true. That's true.
So we kind of threw this together very quickly. And so thank you. So I won't take up a lot of your time. I just wanted to create a space for us to get to know each other.
Exactly.
You know, like, here's the thing. Elaine and I, we masterfully managed to be next to each other during a ESB class. And we were like fast and furious co-creators of consciousness, like that. And we were together in all the places, doing all the things. And that's how this got even got created. It was like, oh, maybe I can host you to do something. I don't know. What could we do? And I said, well, you know, I'm a facilitator of this, and this. And she was, oh, relationship done different. That maybe could be a contribution. So
I haven't seen the relationship done different here in Florida.
yeah, so maybe now is the time.
Now
Oh,
is the
a
time,
brave
yeah.
soul. Mary Soul is a brave soul. I can actually see her. Hi. How you doing? You can unmute. Say hey, hey.
Hello. How are you?
Hi.
How does it get any better than this?
Oh,
No.
goodness. She knows a little bit about access. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me cut that off. That was my reminder to get on the call. So sorry. Well, I've been on a CF call today, certified facilitators. We have to do it yearly, and it's a 5-day class, and this was the second day. And how funny, because look at this right here. This is, where are we in the world, Michelle Holloway?
Hi, Michelle.
I love your background. Where is that in the world? Oh, you're muted, honey.
Costa Rica.
I thought so, but I just thought I'd ask. I didn't want to be wrong. Have you been to Costa Rica?
Yes, I love it.
Me too. That's where I took my first certified facilitators training.
Nice.
Oh my gosh. I recognize that mound behind you.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. I love it. I love it. Well, thanks for taking your time this evening to be with us.
Yes, I was excited to see this call.
Very, very impromptu, believe me. We decided to do it at what, 9 o'clock this morning? And then true story. And then I had my class from 9:30. Okay, hold on. What is this? I had my class at 9:30 this morning for certified facilitators until 5:30. So literally, you know, I was like, okay, I gotta pee, I have to get my water, I gotta check on, you know, my cat, my mom, all the things, and then here we are. So this is just for us to get to know each other for a minute, because I'm gonna be, I think, in your part of the world to facilitate a relationship done different class.
Really? Nice.
Yes, I will. It's a 2.5-day class. So I will start it. Help me, Elaine. We start October 10th, I think? Yes, she's muted, but I'm going to read her lips. She said yes.
Sorry, it started on the 8th,
Oh, the 8th.
at night, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Okay, I'm sorry. I had
8,
to,
9, 10.
so I'm trying to make it friendly for those of you that have to work during the day.
Nice.
So we'll do like Friday from, what time do we start?
I think 6:30.
Okay.
Yes.
6:30 to like 9:30, and then we do all day Saturday and Sunday. And we'll take a nice break on the beach. We haven't decided exactly where it's going to be yet, but I just wanted to connect with you guys for a minute and see if maybe you had any questions about this class. Even if you're familiar with Access Consciousness, this is a no prereq class, which I'm shocked and amazed because it's like so advanced, you know. And the beauty about it is, you know, everyone, I gotta say, you guys are brave, because most people are scared to take this class, especially if they're in relationships, because then they think they're going to have to get divorced or get out of their relationships, or they're like trying to find the perfect relationship. It's like, I have to take this class so I can find the right relationship for me. And what if relationship done different actually started with you and your relationship to yourself? So that's my invitation when I facilitate this class. So I'm just curious, do any of you guys have any questions about what this class could be, or maybe tell me what you would like to get out of a class like this, and then you can see if it speaks to you, because we'd love to have you come play with us. I'm coming. Forget it. I love the beach. I'm going to be there anyway. Just saying. So, I mean, you chose to be on this call, so what up? Anybody?
Okay.
Or should I? Oh, please. Mary Soul is actually the brave person first to actually say something. So,
First of all, thank you so much for this invitation.
Ah.
And I've been working a while with myself, the relationship with myself. And lately, actually yesterday, I found that I would like to know what's fuck. It's like, sorry.
fuck is okay in my world. You didn't offend me.
I've always heard or learned we came here to bring service to the planet or to the world or to the people. And yesterday I said, no, what if it was service for myself? It's kind of weird. Can you say something? Whatever.
No, I
pops to
love
you?
it so much. I mean, the reason why I'm laughing is because I'm one of 6 siblings, and my siblings are such a contribution to me because they give me so many stories.
Uh-huh.
And COVID has been such a gift because I've gotten to the space of not having really a point of view about it. But I'm laughing just because one of my siblings the other day said to me that I was so self-serving. And then you talk about, what if I'm supposed to be of service to myself? And I love that you said that piece, because here's the thing about this reality, in case you guys haven't noticed. When we serve ourselves, we're considered selfish.
Oh, yes.
Have you noticed?
Oh, yes.
And I love what Dr. Dane here says. He's the co-founder of Access. For those of you that may not know that, I mean, I'm a certified facilitator of Access Consciousness, and he is the co-creator of it. And one of the things that he says that I love so much is, you know, if you could actually be there for you first, what contribution could that be for everyone else in your world? I mean, aside from actually acknowledging yourself and being the contribution for you, which I know is unheard of in this reality, what if you actually taking care of you first is the gift to your, I don't know, your family, your kids, if you have them, your mate, all the things, your pet, whatever. You taking care of you first puts you in a space where perhaps you can be received in a completely different way. Because if you've been under the belief for a long time, which, Mary Sol, this is what I perceive from what you said initially, correct me if I'm wrong, you know, we're taught to believe we're supposed to be the gift to everyone else.
Yes.
Take care of everyone else first. We put ourselves last.
Yes.
And what does that create in our lives? Well, I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but a lot of frustration, because I was that person.
anger.
Tell me, I mean, give me more information. So did you belong to a cult, or was it just your family that told you this? Where did this
Well, I
belief
was
come
very
from?
Catholic, so if we can say
You
that
were
was
very
a cult.
Catholic?
Yes, I was born Catholic. I live in Rome, and I had 3 children. And
I don't know if you can see in that altar back there, there's a statue of the Blessed Mother that I actually, from my great aunt, when she died, that's what she left to me. So I have some Catholic, yeah, we're the same person. Please continue.
so for me, it's been like since very little, I perceive I was very lucky. So God chose me to serve others because I was loved. So I've been doing that. And when I had my children, I got divorced. So it's been like at service to them and also to me. And now I'm in a point where I'm asking, now do I have to change to serve the planet and serve the world? I'm in a crisis.
You're not making this significant at all, are you? Rudron, I'm in a crisis.
Thank you for that. I'm going to fucking put all of that. Yes. What am I
Anytime you
making
make
so
anything
relevant?
significant, Marisol, you so trap yourself.
Yes.
And you actually kind of do evil on yourself.
Yes.
But
Wow, yes.
I will say this, honey, because my throwaway line is, I am Earth's bitch. I am all about this planet. You know, it's funny because I took this ESC class, as I was saying earlier, with Elaine, and Dane was like, you know, not a fan of Tennessee. He's got a home with his girlfriend in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I live in Nashville, Tennessee, and he's talking about posers and all this stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, and I lean over to Elaine and I go, does he realize how he dresses? And he's talking about posers and the way they dress. Interesting point of view. I mean, come on. And then finally, when the conversation got there, I'm like, well, I'm not in Tennessee for the people, not necessarily. I'm really here because of the planet.
Mhm.
And I am this Earth's bitch. Now, that said,
Mhm.
I'm not going to do anything unless it's fun for me.
Okay.
If it's not fun, I'm done. Is it fun for me to commune with Mother Earth every morning? Yes, it is. I get in my hot tub, I connect with her, and what I say is, you know what, energy, space, consciousness, choice, magic, miracle, mysteries, and possibilities, ESC and SOPs, can me and my body be so that you get to create you the way you would like to be created, even in all this chaotic stuff. And whatever contribution I can be to that, with ease, joy, and glory, I'm there for you. And she
Wow.
reciprocates it pretty seemingly immediately. It's quite amazing. And that's really it. And then I live my life. I go on and I live my life. You know, it's been very interesting. I recently got diagnosed with COVID, which is, you know, influenza A or influenza B. They gave me the test and it was like, okay, so I'm influenza B. But when the doctors released me, they said it was COVID. I went, well, that's very curious. Okay. So I moved all my classes. I said, what's required here? And Mother Earth was like, what's required is us to send you healing energies and all the quantum entanglements with the, you know, elementals. And here we are for you. So I moved all my classes. And in the interim, I had to take a choice of possibilities class so I could take my CF class on top of it. And I'm like, I don't feel so good. I'll be honest. I wasn't feeling good until about 3 days ago. So I'm like muscling through it. And everybody was like, you have COVID? Really? You don't look like you have COVID. I'm like, well, I'm sleeping 12 hours a day. So, but here's the thing, you know, this reality makes it such a huge deal.
Yeah.
And I didn't really make it public. I mentioned it in the class, but I'm not that person that goes on Facebook and goes, oh, woe is me. I have the COVID. Because here's the piece, this whole story that I've been telling. Anytime you align and agree, or you resist and react to anything that you've bought lock, stock, and barrel, you know, you're actually contributing to it staying fixed in this reality.
Yeah.
You do get that. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely.
Because I don't want to offend you in any way. It's
Oh,
just,
no,
I am going through this traumatic thing. And I'm like, the more you
Who
buy
was
that
I?
story, the more you're going to create it. Yeah.
Yes.
So what do you know?
Yeah. I just adore what you said. Whatever brings fun to me. Thank you.
No, you're so welcome. I mean, even having COVID, you know what was right about that? This is what's so funny. So I moved my 88-year-old mother in with me November 21st of 2020. And she got diagnosed with COVID on December 1st, and there was no medications or anything.
Mhm.
And all my siblings were like, oh my God, she's going to die, blah, blah, blah. What are you doing? And I was hosting a class for Gary and Dane
Mhm.
at that time. And so here I am. I'm that person. I'm the greeter in the beginning of the classes. If you guys are familiar at all with Access. So here I'm the greeter for an hour so that all the translators can get their levels. And if it's a Gary and Dane class, you're going to have quite a few people. And my siblings are all calling me. And so I'm muting myself. And then I'm doing and in the middle of it, I take her to the hospital. I'm wearing the mask and they're like, hey, Ru, you okay? Yeah, I got this. I got this. All this stuff. Because I was taking it so seriously because of my sibs. And they said, hey, what if you could actually have fun with this? And I thought, have fun with my mom having COVID? She could die. What would it look like for me to have fun with that? In my body, actually, the cells just started dancing. And I realized I was putting so much significance on it because they were calling me and I wanted to be there for Gary and Dane at the same time. And so I was like, they got it. They both got it. Everybody let them know what was going on in my world.
Mhm.
And it turned out to be fine. Hey. Who else is taking this call? That's okay. It's a free call. All the animals can join us. That's quite all right. So I don't know. I mean, it's kind of interesting because who was I putting last? Me. Yeah. Now, I don't know how much access you, Marisol, or anybody else has had, but are you familiar with the 5 elements of intimacy?
Yes. I saw you at the SOP in Houston.
Oh, okay. I had to think for a minute. How long ago was that? 4 months? I'm trying to think.
2, maybe yesterday. Yeah, something like that. 4 months.
Something like that. Because I don't know, so much goes on in my world, girl. You have no idea. That's like, okay.
Everybody's world, probably, or even mine too. So I adore what you said. Yes.
You know, it was interesting what I had to do to get to that class because I couldn't find a mommy sitter. And I made that very significant. And she had just been diagnosed with pneumonia and had been in the hospital in the emergency room for 5 days. Then I get her home. And in the mornings, I'm teaching a relationship done different class. I taught it 4 hours for 4 days to Turkey. I had translation. And then I took the 7-day, which started that afternoon. And then there were other things after that. So I get her home and literally the very next day, I am facilitating all of that. Well, so she is not fully over that. And there's SOP that I've already signed up for. And I'm like, I don't want to take another one by remote. I've taken 2 by remote and only 1 in person. I'm getting my ass there. And so I shipped her off to my baby sister. I did in Chicago. And like 2 days before I left, and then I came home and then she came back 2 days later. I mean, I got her on the plane, all the things, and she seemed to be fine, but it was so funny. I mean, I'm 1 of 5. Nobody else chose to have her. And yet I get so much shit because I'm not taking COVID seriously, or I'm not taking her life seriously. And it's so funny. She's got 12 students now. I built a soundproof music studio for her. We're putting another enclosure in front of it to protect the pianos, all the things. And I'm not doing enough for her. Here's the thing. In this world, in this reality, when it comes to relationships, well, this is my point of view. Okay. Are we ever going to be enough?
No. fuck no. Wow, that one's, yeah.
So why don't we start with ourselves? Have fun. It's so funny because here I am taking this CF class, and Gary said something today about how he facilitates the classes, you know, but he's making it fun for himself, which I
Yes.
totally get, because here I am right now. I mean, I have all my props. I may go, you know, jump into song. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I make it fun for me. If it's not fun for me, what's the point? And the thing is that's me showing up as me.
Mhm.
You know, when I was talking about those 5 elements of intimacy, that's me actually willing to be vulnerable, to actually be who I truly be, to trust that I'm going to always have my back, show up the way that I am. You know, it's another one of the 5. Allowance, giving myself allowance to be who I am, and allowance of all those that show up, like right now, because I know you guys could have chosen a myriad of other things to do on a Friday night, and here you are. Thank you so much. You know, honoring of myself, and then gratitude that I'm willing to show up for me. The thing is if you can have those 5 things with yourself first, you can recognize them in all your relationships. And even if it's not there, you're aware. That's where that allowance piece comes in. It's like the gift of COVID has been for me. You know, Mary Saul has been, I mean, I have 2 brothers and 3 sisters, and they're very charismatically religious in whatever religion they chose. Most of them are Catholic. And I have an older brother that constantly reminds me that I'm going to go to hell in a handbasket because I'm not going to church every Sunday and all the things. And the gift of COVID has been this allowance piece, because I finally got to a space where I'm like so grateful that he shows up for my mom, that he always shows up the way he's going to show up, even if it's not something I would choose.
Mhm.
And it's been life-changing for me. I don't know how to explain it. It's like I adore him even more, even though I adore his wife, because I can't imagine. I'm so grateful that she's there for him. Pardon. Interesting point of view, Rudrani. Interesting point of view. But it's just the foundation is truly crumbled in this reality during COVID. And this relationship piece. This is why I love this class so much. Because these tools, oh my goddess, they can get you through anything. Have you noticed?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Ah, you're so welcome. Thank you for showing up. Friday night. Does anybody else have a question about relationship done different? So this is a class that's, so Simone and Brendan created this class out of a book that they wrote. Hold on. Where is it? It's up. Oh, here it is. So, relationship, are you sure you want one? And the funny thing is they've been in an 8-year relationship, and then the minute this sucker gets published, oh, we got somebody else wanting to jump on the call. There we go. The minute that they choose, you know, that the book is published, all of a sudden, their agent now is booking all these talks with them, and they have just broken up. And I mean, it was ugly. I was at a CF in Costa Rica, and Simone was a fucking mess. And somebody was like, oh my God, Brendan cheated on her. And da, da, da. I'm thinking, this is access. We don't have points of view about people cheating on people, do we? I was going, I don't get it. I mean, I thought everything was copacetic with all this access stuff, but it was one of her best friends. And she was like, that's it. I'm taking the house and I'm doing this. Da, da, da. And it's all happening. You're totally perceiving the energy of it. And the funny part is they had just finished this book. I'm like going, I wonder what that's going to look like. So they sat down with Gary Douglas, the founder of Access, and he was like, so what do you guys really want to create here? I mean, you've been together for 8 years. This happened. I mean, so did you do everything you needed to do in the relationship? Which, interestingly enough, Brendan had actually said that to Simone about 2 months before all this went down. He goes, have we done everything we need to do in this relationship? Because what Gary has said several times is, if you don't create at least 20% more together in a relationship, a creationship, then there's no point in going there. And they had done more than that, honestly. When they first got together, he was a tradesman. He was a carpenter, I guess, by trade, and an amazing cook. I don't know if you guys knew this. He actually won Australia's, I don't remember what it's called, but it's like whoever cooks the best meal gets the prize. I don't remember what it is in English, but because I never watched the show, but he was actually that person. So here she was out there creating classes, and he was fixing up, because she said to him, why don't you not work for a while and figure out what you want to do? And a lot of people would be like, so he's a kept man. Well, no, he actually contributed just as much as she did, which is what this creationship thing is what I'm talking about. This is a relationship done very different. It's like the partner where the guy stays home with the kids, because that's not what this relationship normally looks at. But if that's going to create more, the woman working and the man staying home with the kids and doing all the things, in this case, he was creating more with the house. He was fixing up things. They ended up getting a different house, and he did all this carpentry work that was supposedly very amazing. She would be creating like a banshee, and he would be making these unbelievable meals, and so it was really a creationship. And he didn't start teaching classes until I think 5 years into the relationship. And yet she would ask every day, is this still creating? Is it still creating? Because to the outside world, can you imagine the judgment that they were impaled with? Oh, he's a kept man, and he's 13 years younger than you, and whatever. And they didn't even know they were in a relationship until Gary actually suggested it. He goes, well, the relationship the two of you have, and he said it in a class, and they were like, what? We're not in a relationship. We just, we see each other, and sometimes but it was the funniest thing, because, even with him staying with her, he had a son. He has a son. Son's not dead. He has a son and a dog, and she became a stepmom to his kid. And it worked until it didn't work. And that's a point. Even in friendships, I had a best friend that the relationship ended over COVID, kind of. We still connect, but we used to connect every day. And I'll just tell a little story, because maybe this will help. She was dating this guy that was totally gaslighting her. I don't know if you guys know what that means, but just basically, everybody's nodding, so I don't need to go into what that is. Okay. So here she is with this guy that they're together, and then they're not together, and then they're together and they're not together. Well, it was happening a lot more frequently, especially during COVID. I think they were just getting sick of each other. As you can imagine, a lot of people were spending more time with their insignificant others than they would have liked. And so she was over to my house all the time, and I'm making dinner, or we're ordering out, all the things. And then one night, we're drinking martinis. She had quite a few martinis, and I'm not going down the rabbit hole with her, which I never have gone down. I say never. I would say that 98% of the time I wouldn't indulge in that. And she was getting pissed. And so finally, she knows Access enough because she's taking classes from me. And I made the mistake of saying truth out loud. And then I asked a question, and she was like, fuck you, I will never. She takes her napkin and she throws it down in the middle of the meal. And fuck you. And she's like stumbling out of my house. I had this resin angel. She knocks it over on her way out. I'm like, you will text me when you get home. Oh, fuck you. So I text her boyfriend, can you just let me know when she gets home? And she's only maybe 5 blocks from where I live. I don't hear from her. Our relationship is over. I can't tell you the amount of peace I felt, because I was willing to let her go. And that was something that Gary and I had talked about. Are you willing to let go those people in your world Number one, they can't find you. I mean, if you expect them to get you, get over it. People that are trying to pull you down into the cesspool. And I'm like, I'm willing to give up everybody. This was the gift of it. I realized, even my mother, and I adore her. I'm willing to give her up. All my sibs, all my friends, Gary Dane, all the things. Because I am not going to not honor myself anymore. I'm not willing to not be the 5 elements of intimacy with me, whatever that looks like. And the thing is a lot of people don't want to do that because they're afraid they're going to be alone. You're never going to be alone. You'd be surprised at how many people will be like, well, I want what you've got, or what, what she has, or whatever. Are you kidding? The minute I finally decided I was willing to give up people, they're like glomming on me like, I don't know, white on rice.
I was going to say that the second you make that, you give that kill energy, they're all calling, texting.
Girl, it's such the truth. Oh my goddess. It's like the minute you don't care, they're like, where did you go? It's very curious. So does anybody else have a question? Hi, Christina. By the way, are you working? You up on your computer?
I'm yes, kind of.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll forgive you. That's quite all right. I guess you can multitask during this free call.
Oh, I'm done now. I finished it.
So do you have any questions about relationships done different? Well, how long have we been talking? About 30 minutes? That's okay. I can go a little longer here. What about Lois and Amna, who is, they're hiding behind their names. Are y'all naked? Because that's the only reason why I shouldn't be able to see on cameras if you're naked. And if you're naked, I really should see you on camera because, I don't know, just saying. I don't know. They're all muted now. So we do. Okay, so here's the thing about this class that's coming up. It's in Florida. If y'all want to join us. Where are we going, Miss Elaine? Where are we in Florida?
Maybe Fort Lauderdale or Boca Raton. We'll figure out those places.
I found a resort in Boca Raton, and then we
Yes.
might just do a bed and breakfast. We don't know yet.
Yeah, Airbnb. We see.
Let's see. We're going to see what this class actually creates. All I know is it's happening. It's
Exactly. This is just the first step.
We were just talking this morning and thought maybe we should be a little bit of an invitation to those that might want to come join us. And what's cool is there's no prerequisites. So if you know anybody else that thinks that they're in peril because of their relationships, like Marisol, have them come join us, and be miserable with the rest of us. Sorry. That's just funny to me. Because, what if, here's the thing. I don't want to give away too much. I had to take a lot of classes to get certified in this. And it's very interesting because I was married. And then I don't know if any of you guys know this. I was in India and I got shot by terrorists. And so suddenly I couldn't walk. And here I'm married to this man that stepped out on me while I was in a wheelchair, of all things. And I was so grateful because I tried to get out of this relationship or this marriage for a couple of years. I'm grateful to the terrorists. How cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs is that, right? But everybody else.
I never heard that part.
You never heard that part?
I didn't hear that part of the story. I've heard you tell this story multiple times. I didn't know that you were already done when your situation.
Can I just share a little insight? By the time, so when the doctors were removing the bullet in my femur, and they told me, you may not wake up. It's lying on your femoral artery. And if we remove it, you could bleed out. Because I had already lost like 4 units of blood. And for my size, I'm made up of 6.5. I'm not that big of a person. I'm big this way, but not so much this way. So anyway, I said, well, we got to call my husband because, he needs to know where to find the body bag. Those are the words that came out of my mouth. And so that was back in the day when you had to memorize phone numbers because we didn't have texting and iPhones and all that yet. So they call him and, they hand the phone. I said, I'm getting ready to go into surgery. This could be the last time we talk, da, 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 da. And hand the phone back to him, And it was one of these things where I didn't know this at the time. And I don't know how much access you guys have taken. But I remember floating above my body. I mean, I told the doctors I was in so much pain. I said, gas me first and then put me on the operating table because I'm in so much pain. Every time they tried to move me, I'm like, and I'd black out. So that's what they did. I mean, the next thing I did remember was waking up in my room. So I knew that evidently the bullet didn't puncture. But during the surgery, I floated above my body, which is exactly what happened when I was shot. And I looked down and went, well, that didn't look good. Damn. Because my friend's head was blown off and literally I had brains and bone and blood all over my white head shawl that was wrapping my head. And my thought was the two people that aren't going to get this are my mom and my husband. Everybody else would get it. Everybody else knows me, peace, love, and understanding, Ru and meditating, teaching meditation, all things, new age, blah, blah, blah. Following a guru for 20 something years. They'll get it. They know I'm going to be fine. My mom, my now ex is not going to get it. So that was a fleeting thought that I had. Well, evidently during that time, I became a walk-in. And so by the time he got to India, I'm like, who is this short Latino? I married that guy? What? And then I get to my house and I'm like, what are all these tchotchkes? And I didn't like any of my clothes. It was the weirdest thing. And I don't know. Evidently, I hung a sign over my head saying body available. And eventually I got rid of the original inhabitant. But the point being, getting back to the original story, Christina, he had been cheating on me the entire marriage because he was very rico suave. We were a beautiful couple. Even though he wasn't very tall, he always wore lifts in his shoes. He was like 5'10" and 5'5", and we would walk into a room and people would notice us because we were so beautiful. And all the other women wanted him. And I was like, yeah, but he's going home with me. But I didn't realize that sometimes he was going home with them. He started this family with this other girl while I was in the wheelchair, which made it really easy to divorce him because he left in the middle of my healing. And I told him, I said, well, you go out that door and that window of opportunity is going to close quickly because I will file. And I did. And yeah, I was already done with him before. If you ever want to read mine, it's all in this really thick book because I was in a wheelchair and didn't have a whole lot of other things to do with my life. My first book, Soul Survivor, it is 5 stars, all about what happened in India. And then I ran the Boston, like literally this book came out 2 days before I ran the Boston Marathon because Adidas heard my hard luck pass, knew I was training before I went to India. And so I ran it and I wrote it was like, you need to write a new ending and add that. I was like, people, this is 400 pages. Nobody's going to, and then I wrote a second book called For the Love of Running about running the Boston. It's 300 pages. Could you imagine if these 2 books were together? I mean, that would be very painful. That's like Atlas Shrugged. If you guys get that reference at all, it is one of the longest, boring books you can, anyway. And then I wrote this little tiny book. And this is the book that has gotten the most attention. It's like a runaway train. I feel like I'm chasing a toddler with this book. Get Happy podcast came out of that. It's speaking 3 languages now. It's getting translated into 2. One of them is Arabic. Arabic
Beautiful.
and Russian. Who knew the Russians wanted to be happy? I'm so confused. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. So the invitation is, if you guys, want to come play, we're going to play in Florida for 2.5 days. We're going to start Friday night, all day, Saturday, Sunday. I could live stream it, but I'm not sure if that's what's required because I think the beach is going to be calling us. So maybe if you need a little vacay or if you happen to be living in Florida, I don't know, maybe some of you are. I don't know. Hell's bells, make up a reason to go. Celeste is so excited because I'm bringing her. It's like, and I said, you got to take the class, Celeste. Okay, if I must, I will take the class. The lady doesn't know what to do with me, I swore. And Christine has actually met Celeste. Isn't she lovely?
Yes, she is so sweet. Love her.
Isn't she lovely? Isn't she beautiful? Does anybody remember that song? Isn't she precious? That's all I remember. So sorry, not sorry. Any questions? Gosh, I'll tell you what. I'll send this recording to Elaine to share with her friends, and then I will also put it in my MailChimp if you're part of that, and we'll have the links, some more information if you're interested. But my YouTube channel, I have so much relationship stuff because I did this 5-day challenge that if you go to my website, it's a free 5-day challenge, and you can go to Facebook and follow that. And I had so much fun with it, but there's a lot of I guess the point is there's a lot of relationship stuff on my YouTube channel. So, and they got the most views because for some reason, people are all like crazy when it comes to relationship stuff. I don't know. That's what I've noticed. It's like you talk about peace, love, and understanding, and nobody shows up. But you talk about relationships, and like, oh, how do I find the one? Or, how do I get rid of this asshole? Or, or I'm supposed to contribute. I have to be the contributor to everybody but me, Marisol. So I don't know.
I'm gonna be some question to see if somebody has this question doesn't want to ask. That class is gonna talk about all the kind of relationship, like with your husband, with your family, with your work, with yourself. Is gonna get all kind of relationship.
Here's the thing about the class. You guys create it. So whatever it is you want to know or work with, we'll work with the energy of that. So if it's about your husband, we'll tap into the energy of that. We will ask questions. So because here's the thing, Access is all about empowering you to know that you already know. So that's the beauty of all of these classes. Whoever shows up, it's a co-creation of that class. And what will that create for your future? Not just your future, but those in your lives. I've taught this class where it's been all about the husbands. Like the one I taught in Turkey, everybody was married, okay? All arranged marriages. They were all expected to be subservient and all of this. So it had a very specific energy, if I can put it that way. But yeah, we can cover anything. I did one for India, and I was shocked at how many people that weren't married, their family wanted them to be married, but their relationship questions were more about flatmates and coworkers. So it's really whatever it is you want to get out of the class.
Depend on what it's gonna show up about the energy. Okay.
Absolutely. And there are no stupid questions, just stupid people that aren't willing to ask them. And another thing I find is a lot of people will ask a question for somebody else in the class. It's happened to me. I'm in this CF class right now, and I put in questions both days. It's only day 2, and both days I retracted my questions that it's been answered. Don't need it answered, because there's something about this connection with all of us together where we're all so psychically connected that it contributes, and we all get what we need to get. Was there something specific, or he, whoever that was, had a lot of stepping stones? So was there one of those that they were the most concerned about? Because you said marriage, I don't know, work,
friendship, everything.
Yeah. I mean, I let my best friend go. She gone, girls. She gone, girl. I don't know if you've ever heard the movie or the song or whatever, but it's funny when I hear from her, it's like once in the blue moon now. Now, what happened was after that, we broke up, whatever. She fell on her sword about 2 months later and said, I miss my friend and I just didn't recognize you and da da da. And so I interviewed Gary Douglas for my Get Happy podcast. He was my first interview. And I brought it up. I said, the most amazing thing about COVID is I've learned that I'm willing to go it alone. And, that's a very different way to look at relationships, just saying. And I told him about what had happened. And I told him, I said, she fell on her sword. She basically said, I couldn't find you. You weren't listening to me. And I said, well, I wasn't willing to go down the rabbit hole with you because I know that you could create greater if you would just choose it. And me going down the rabbit hole is not going to help you get there. And he said, wait a minute, she didn't fall on her sword. He goes, she couldn't control you. And that's why she was so upset. And it was so light in my world. And I went, oh my goddess. And that's what's been going on like with my older brother. He can't control me. When it comes to my mom, he can't control me. And it scares the fuck out of him. And I kind of really like it. Am I out to get him? No, I don't care, but I would much rather be in that space of where he has to consider me with regard, whether he likes it or not, than to contract into the smallest piece of finite shit on this planet to make him comfortable. I'm not willing to cut my arms and legs off for people anymore. It's just not going to happen. That's what I mean by being willing to go alone. And the thing is, and Christina reiterated this, it's like the minute you're willing actually to be you, I mean, when you're willing to be you, because I teach right voice for you classes as well. And when you are the right voice in the world, meaning the right voice for you, meaning you being you, which is like a being you changing the world on steroids class, in my opinion, you're irresistible because you're so vulnerable. And being vulnerable is not being a piece of finite shit. It's not being in a space where somebody gets to gaslight you and treat you like shit. That's not what vulnerability is. It's really about being all of you, not trying to hide who you be, but not place significance on it. It's like I tell stories all the time. I tell stories on myself. People, if you read this book, I got so many stories upon myself on what not to do if you're trying to be conscious, because I did them all, And do I have a point of view? No. I remember teaching poor Celeste. I dragged her. I fooled her. I got her to take one of my bars classes because I told her I needed another set of hands. And I really just wanted her to get a bars run because since she's moved in, she barely lets me touch her. I do her implant band when she's watching TV. That's about it now. Can't get her in this fabulous healing room that you see behind me. So, all the things. So here she is taking this class, and it may have even been one of the class. Christina, she did take one of the classes with you guys, right? Because I think I set her up with Elisa, right?
There was two she took.
Okay, so you were there for both of them?
She did a bars and I think she did facelift.
She didn't do body
with us.
processes. No, she did 2 bars classes.
No, I think she did facelift with us, like half of facelift. But I could be wrong. We did a few classes at your place. But I remember her being there for 2, 1.5 actually, one class.
Okay, you know what the facelift was? She actually received the second half of the day. So she didn't participate until the second half of the day. And your daughter made her go to lunch with us. That I do remember. But here I was telling a story about my family. And after everybody left, she was like, can't believe you told perfect strangers. I love that. Perfect strangers. What is a perfect stranger? It kind of sounds like an oxymoron. I don't know. I mean, okay, I got to get my head out of that for a minute. Is there such a thing as a perfect stranger? Imperfect stranger? Anyway, so I was like, what do you mean, Celeste? She's like, you're telling them about our family. They don't need to know about our family. I'm like, Mom, me telling a story about the family doesn't mean they're going to know about our family. Not really. They're not going to know who they are. I didn't show pictures. I got that it would be a contribution and I don't have a point of view. So, I was sharing a story that I'm not making significant so that they can get an idea of where I'm coming from with whatever tool I was using, which I don't even remember. I do it all the time. I kind of throw Celeste and my brother Alan under the bus a lot. And I adore Celeste. When I throw her under the bus, it's like, if we have to say negative and positive, it's not necessarily a negative contribution. She just has a tendency to be very Italian and very Catholic and very, it's like, get the energy of that, but just lean into the energy of Celeste. I mean, every night, 2 or 3 of my siblings will call her because they want her money. And she goes into the half glass empty mode. Oh, they didn't brick the house. So deep. And I did, but I'm like, okay. I mean, I'll give you a quick example and then I probably should let you guys go. So we had this hailstorm and I was worried because I've been teaching classes in the garage. So I have not allowed her to have her car in the garage because I was supposed to share the music room with her, but her 3 pianos, 2 grand pianos, and the piano, all of her other stuff. There's so much, I couldn't even get a drum kit in there if I tried because I'm in a band. So we had to rehearse in the garage and I had to teach some of my classes in the garage. So my car's in the garage and on the other side where her car would be are either massage tables or my band, depending on what's going on. So she wanted, now what's the point of my story now? Talk amongst yourselves. Christina, where was I going with this? Read my mind. What did I say before all that?
Celeste,
The class?
you were, I don't know where you're going with
We're
this one.
giving an
I don't
example, I think, of what she does or how she kind of bees.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Last I heard, your siblings want her money.
Yes. Okay. So actually now I do remember. So her car is not ever in the garage was the point. And we have this hailstorm. That was my story, hailstorm story. So the hailstorm happens, the roof starts leaking. That big common area in my kitchen it's leaking. And I'm like, oh God, I'm not going to hear the end of it. Her car is probably really damaged and da, 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 da. So I get the handyman out the very next day. He goes up there. Oh, there's so much hail damage to your roof. So he covers it with some kind of plastic until I can get the insurance to come out. Her car doesn't even have one nick and her car is parked right up next to the part of the roof that has the worst damage. So I've been with my insurance guy for a very long time. I love this guy. I love this guy so much. I one time with my Porsche swallowed a tire from a truck and it tore up the whole underside of my car. And he got it ruled as an act of, I don't know, it wasn't my fault. It's like an act of nature. So I didn't even have to pay for anything. My car got completely fixed. And then I got rid of it because, the whole underside of my Porsche was destroyed. So it was fixed. I had, whatever. But here we were, this completely damaged roof. Her car doesn't get damaged. I won't, I haven't been allowing it in the garage. The universe definitely has my back. And we find out that my contractor, when he redid the 30-year roof 3 years ago, never laid the paper that was supposed to be underneath the tiles. So my 30-year roof would have maybe lasted 5 or 6 years. He did it wrong. I'm like, oh my God, thank you, Mother Earth, Mother Nature, for damaging my roof. Because I got the whole roof, $20,000. And they didn't just replace the entire roof part the correct way. It was all of the, I forgot what it's called. The gutter guard was all replaced. The other pieces, because I had been with this insurance company for so long that I was grandfathered in. So they gave me all the things. It's like $20,000. And so here she is talking to myself. Oh my God, this is a roof and it was completely destroyed. And all I had to pay was $1,000, which was my, what do you call it? The deductible?
Deductible.
And the thing is my house, the roof would have never made it 30 years. half glass full, half glass empty. So nice story. We just had the same thing happen. My contractor never finished bricking the house. And so we discovered that he never laid foundation through that glass walkway between the two structures. You know what I'm talking about, Christina? And you do too, Deborah. All that was there was wood that was rotting and the roof was holding it together. Big windstorm, that could have knocked it down. My insurance wouldn't have covered it because it wasn't done to codes. So I'm like, oh my gosh, that's fantastic. I know it's $6,000 more, but we found out the foundation's going to go there. It's going to get bricked. It's going to be great. And every time she's on the phone, you're not going to believe this. The contractor, she had a DVD. It's like, okay, the contractor was an asshole, but we would have never found out if I didn't have this new contractor. And then I said, Celeste, I bet he never put those things. What do you put on the, we paid my contract, the other one, extra to put those things on your HVAC so you can breathe better. I forgot now what it's called. What is it?
The air purifiers.
Air purifiers. And so, yeah, he didn't. Monday and Tuesday. Monday, they put on the 2 air purifiers, and Tuesday, they clean our HVAC. Oh my gosh, I'm waking up and I'm not going, I'm so grateful. She's like, oh my God, she had to pay $6,000. It's like, it's just money. We're breathing. Everything's fine. Different point of view. Now that's a relationship done different because I'm in such allowance of that and it gives me a good story and I don't care. Because this is the thing I know. She's always going to show up that way. And if I expect her to show up differently, well, then I'm the stupid one. So I don't know. I've kept you guys a very long time. I didn't mean to go this long and nobody left. So thanks so much for being here. Is everybody on the MailChimp? Because if you are, you'll get the playback and I'll have all the info.
I am.
In the information. Yes, cool. And Elaine, anybody in your group that wants to be involved, because I know that some of them are not watching this now. If they want to watch it later, just give me their email and I'll add them and they can always unadd themselves if they'd like.
Okay.
And
Okay.
we'll go from there.
Perfect.
But thank you guys. Anything before we go? Deborah, I'm so happy to see you, girl.
Good to see you too. You look so pretty in that yellow.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was trying to find something to match my linen breeches.
Cool. We can kind of see them.
I know, it's like I don't know. I even have a jacket that sort of matches. It's like, look at me. I'm such a girl. That's the inside. Anyway, whatever. Thank you. Whatever. All right, my loves. Well, take
Thank
care.
you. Thank you.
Whether you come to this class or not, thanks for playing. And what else could we create? If you're interested in creating something, let me know. I'm always in for it because this is the most fun for me is creating stuff like this. So you let me know. All right. Thank you so much for you guys.
Thank you.
Until the
Thank
next time.
you.
Ciao, ciao for now.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye.